Now this is 2020 November paper, right? Yes, 2020 November paper, right? So as you clearly see, the managerial levels, CLT 304, corporate law and advanced taxation, right? So now instructions are given. Now one advice, when you read the paper, be very careful. So take few minutes and just read what the instructions are. I also have given you instructions, but read the paper. And when you're selecting, because the second part of the question paper is very difficult, you have to look here and there to select questions. So you want to know which part is mandatory and which part is optional. If you have wrongfully answered, then you lose marks because you are getting only 50 marks, right? So 1 mark is very important. A mark is very important. Now part 1, as I correctly pointed out, so section 1 is about corporate law, and part 1, right, and part 1 that is MCQs and short answers. Now you can see there are 5 MCQ questions, right? Here 4. I told you there are cases also. You have to know the cases very well. Now it says, which of the following decided cases, a case can be considered as an example to discuss lifting of veil. Then if you don't know these cases, then how you could pick a choice? How you make a choice, right? So it's difficult, right? So there are MCQs and these are direct questions. So let me show you one question. Based on the majority rule, the major shareholders take decisions of the company. As a result, minority shareholders are often left helpless. The Companies Act has introduced many protections to minority shareholders. State 2 of such protections available for the minority shareholders. Now, if you don't know about protections available for minority shareholders, then what happened? For 1 mark, you have to give 2 answers. So half mark each. Remember, that much of struggle you have to put to earn 1 mark. So 2, you have to write 2, then 2 to get 1 mark. Alright. So then 1 mark into 10 questions, total 10 marks. Moving to second part. Second part devoted for essay type questions. As I correctly pointed out, there will be 2 questions. Here, question 2 and here the next one, question 3. That's all. So every question divides into 2 parts, part A and part B. Now you see, part A, answer all questions. All questions are mandatory. And part B, you can see here, part B, select one from following an answer. So there will be 2 options. You have to select one, right? Part A, all are compulsory. Part B, there are options. So if you look at part A, you can clearly see there is a problem question. And they have highlighted what you should do, right? And also another problem question. There will be 2 questions. Sometimes there may be 3, right? So they can decide it. They may have 2 or 3, but not more than 3, right? So part B, the part A, all questions are mandatory, right? So then part B, you have to select 1 from 2, right? So part B, again, it is a theory question, right? Part B, again a problem question. Yes, it is a theory question. Part B, you get 2 theory questions. You have an option, you have select one. So you will be getting 20 marks. Again, the same format for the next question. So this question also compulsory. Part A, all questions are mandatory, and part B, you can select one. There will be 2 questions, you have to select one. Then the second section, that is about advanced taxation, right? So this is how the paper structure is. This is how the paper structure is. So now you have to feel the gravity and the bulkiness of the subject, right? Even though there are 6 lessons, there is a lot to cover. There is a lot to cover, right? I'm moving to our very first lesson, right? Our first lesson is forms of business and nature of incorporation. Forms of business and nature of incorporation. I hope everyone has the study material. Have you all purchased? Do you have the study material with you?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So while after we have done the session, you refer to the if you have enough time, because you all are working now, right? So then if you have enough time, just have a little look on the study material as well. So in case if it can be even it is when it is close to the examination, so that is how actually students behave, right? Even university students, so they wait until the examination notice comes, then only they prepare. So that is how the things going on. And even you all are working people, so that is the best way, no option, right? So you have to get ready for that. I know gentlemen usually they wanted to somehow get through this, right? Okay. uh, because this is a professional qualification, so then you all have to obtain this, and you have to scale up in the professional ladder. You have your own targets, right? Now before I explain about the first lesson, let me briefly tell you something about corporate law, right? Corporate law. So these are like mm, some insights to the lesson, insights to the subject, some insights. So you have to have this knowledge prior to start the study. Before we go to the lesson, you have to furnish and you have to empowered with this knowledge. So when we talk about corporate law, simply it is law relating to corporations. Law relating to corporations. Now, as I pointed out earlier, corporation and company are similar. In countries like New Zealand, Australia, they have incorporation, XZY incorporation. So they use the word incorporation. Inc කියලා අහලා ඇති, capital INC dot inc. AZY inc. Inc mean incorporation. Now I have seen, I don't know whether I'm saying this is correct or correct in an online platform, but now there was a crown incident happened in our country, beauty pageants. So I have seen a press or statement given by the former Mrs. World, Caroline Jury. So there she told about Miss Mrs. World Inc. Right? So Inc is something like it is not something has to tell, because it means Mrs. World Incorporation. So the abbreviation is Inc. Capital INC Inc. Mrs. World Inc. So it is okay to say Mrs. World. You don't have to say Mrs. World Inc. Right? So that it means Mrs. World Incorporation. It's an organization. It is an incorporated body. So some countries they recognize companies as incorporations. And some countries, so like England, uh, Britain, Ireland, so some countries, so they understand corporations. They have corporations. And some countries like Sri Lanka, India, we have companies. We have company. So corporations, incorporations, and companies all refer to one meaning, that is body corporate. Body corporate. Now, corporate law is all about law relating to companies. Law relating to companies. So in Sri Lanka, we rarely use the word corporate and incorporation. Instead, we are more familiar with company. I just want to start a company. My company. I'm a director of a company. So likewise, people use the word company. So it is the familiar word to us. It is the familiar word. I'm working for a private company. So that is how people used to say. So in the Company Act also, the preferable word is company. Right? We use the word company. Right? So then law relating to company. Now, company is very important in the business world. In the business world. Why? Many people would like to start and continue their businesses as companies due to some reasons. Those are consequences of incorporation, which means benefits people get as a result of legally incorporating the company, right? So then now it is a popular form of doing business. Popular form of doing business. So within a company, since you all are working with companies, you know within a company there are plenty of plethora of activities conducting. Activities are conducting, right? So companies, some companies manufacture products, some companies render services, right? We have products and services. So then there are different activities they perform. So if it is a product oriented company, the structure of the company, usually company has a chief executive officer. Some they have managing director, and then under managing director there are different divisions: finance, then HR, human resource department, and IT, information technology, and also legal division if possible, and marketing. Likewise, logistic and supply division. Likewise, there are several departments, several divisions. So each division has a head: manager HR, manager IT, manager human resource, right? Human resource manager HR, and manager logistic and operational manager, right? So manager finance, manager marketing. Likewise, so all are responsible to whom? The managing director. Managing director has to have the overall knowledge, right? So managing director subject to the company chief executive officer, right? So then under each divisions there are employees, and sometimes there are some operational level employees as well. The laborers, those who contribute for manufacturing, and the employees, everybody comes under these divisions are belong to the operational level, right? So that is how usually a company operates. So there is a hierarchy. So some are saying that there is a flat hierarchy now. So the how business operations happen in a local organization and a multinational corporation is different, right? So multinational corporations, their operational um, uh, structure is different, right? So then even when we talk about a company and company's operations, there are two important aspects. There are two important aspects. One is the ownership of the company, and the other one is the management of the company. Operation and ownership and management, right? So when we talk about the ownership, this is maybe a repetition. Shareholders are responsible because they invest in company. They are the people who bring money to the company. Because of them, company can raise the capital. Therefore, they are known as shareholders, or they are known as owners of the company. So they are contributing to the ownership of the company. And company has a management. So shareholders could not manage the company. Shareholders can't involve in management. So management means the decision making part. All the decisions to operate the company are taken by board of directors. So board of director is responsible to decide the pathway, right? So then directors are responsible for management. So in company, overall in the company law, we consider about ownership of the company and the management of the company. Everything related to life of the company till death of the company we discuss under company law. Now in Sri Lanka, to govern companies, we have one single legislation that is known as Companies Act number 7 of 2007, right? Companies Act number 7 of 2007. So this is the only legislation subject to companies, right? So if you are having a company, if you want to start a company, or if you want to resolve a problem relating to company, then what you should refer in Sri Lanka is our Companies Act number 7 of 2007, right? It is available online. So if you just Google it, so you can find the PDF version. So Sinhala and English both, right? So then company can now imagine human, we as natural persons, so there are different activities performed, right? Like companies can also say they are more equal to human beings. Companies are humans. Can we say like that? Can we say companies are human? Can we say? Right? There is a huge difference, because what human can do can't do by companies, right? Humans can marry, but companies can't marry, right? Humans can reproduce, but companies can't. So in the literal sense, there are so many differences between uh, humans, they have life, but corporate, they don't have life, right? So then the thing is, so if I try to uh, compare, if I try to think a company as a human being, I would say like this. Company's brain is board of directors. Company's brain is board of directors because they take decisions. The crucial strategic decisions are taken by board of directors. Now, for example, now these days, COVID third wave has come, and many companies are facing difficulties. So this is a quite tough time where we have to be resilient. So the the board of directors, they have to manage. Am I audible enough and visible enough? Yes. I was talking with you all about I just wanted to compare. I wanted to think company as a human being. So I just shared with you about company's board of directors is like brain of the human being, because they make crucial decisions, right? They make crucial decisions. So now these days companies are facing huge challenges because they have to face COVID situation, new normal, right? So if it is a product oriented company, they had to think about how they could deliver their products to the market. So if they have adopted the physical delivery, so they have to think about online delivery, right? So many companies, they used to use online platforms, and even working with employees. So we used to go to the office every day, but now we can't do that. So we work as work from home, right? WFH, right? Work from home. And also sometimes companies face problems. They couldn't actually gain the revenue as expected, so they have to cut down salaries, and sometimes they have to um, cut down their staff as well, reduce their staff. So then it is a tough time for everyone. So then the company, these tough decisions, whether they are going for a salary reduction, or what are the, if they are going to reduce privileges given, facilities given. So these crucial decisions are taken at the boardroom, right? Boardroom. So these decisions are taken by board of directors. So directors are very responsible for the decisions of the company, therefore they involve in the management, so we can equal them to the brain of the company. And shareholders are like life heart of the company. Shareholders are the heart of the company. Heart in the sense, they no, not actually heart, I can say the lifeblood of the company. So they pump money to the company, right? So as human beings, we have to stay alive. Blood circulation is a must, right? So likewise, company to be live, definitely circulation of money is very important. So then that financial strength to the company is given by shareholders. So they are the lifeblood. So without having brain and lifeblood, the body is useless. So it is very difficult to stand, right? Difficult to operate, right? So those two organs are very important for the functioning of the whole body, right? And when we think about uh, company, uh, companies act and the articles of association are like eyes of the company. Companies Act mean every company operates in Sri Lanka need to comply with the Companies Act. Every company operates in Sri Lanka needs to comply or consistent with the Companies Act. So therefore, it gives a sight to the company. It gives sight to the company. And the other one is articles of association. So articles of association is like it is the basic document of the company. Basic document of the company. All the rules are included. All the rules are included, right? How they manage the company, how they call the annual general meeting, and how they appoint shareholders, and what are the rights of shareholders, and what are the scope of board of directors, what is the scope of the board of directors, and the functions of board of directors, and how they are going to appoint company secretary, and how they are going to appoint do the auditing part. So everything relating to the operational, the rules governing the operation aspect of the company, how originally the company internal activities should carry out. So everything clearly explained and included in the articles of association, right? So articles of association, some are saying it is the constitution. It is the constitution of the company. Now it's like the agenda or the legal agenda of the company, I would say. Yes, legal agenda of the company, how usually the company activities take place. So the directors of the company, first they have to adhere to articles of association. It is a must. So articles of association can be varied from company to company. So what Dilshan's company's articles of association, it will be different, definitely different from the Yoganathan's one, right? So two different each depending on the nature of the company and the special service they deliver to the market and the customers, and their requirements may be different. So the articles of association are varied. Company Act is a general one. Company Act is a general one. So then Company Act and Articles of Association both provide good side to the company. Good side. හොඳ දැක්මක්. Good side to the company. And now human beings are moving. We are walking. So how company walk in the corporate sector? Go up or go down. So how it decides? That is led by company contracts. Company contracts. Company contracts provide opportunities, right? Facilitates the company. So through the contracts, MOUs are there, memorandum of understandings are there, MOUs and corporate companies contracts. Those help the company to govern, to move on, right? So those are like the two legs of the company, right? And then we all need to communicate, right? So how the company's communications would take place. So meetings of the company are very important. Meetings of the company. So there are meetings for board of directors, we call board meetings, and they communicate. And there are meetings for shareholders, we call general meetings, annual general meeting, AGM is there, right? So that is for the purpose of communication, right? Meetings of the communication, and those are similar to the mouth of the company, right? So then in this is how I attempted to compare a company with a human. But essentially humans, they do have human rights, but company, they are not humans actually. In literal sense, companies are not human. So then they have, corporates also, they have rights, right? So then companies actually has to have to responsible for the protection of human rights, right? So then when we talk about companies, there are so many differences, but to some extent in literally, I mean, not actually literally, in an artistic way we can make a similarity. So then when we talk about company, so if I ask you to show John Kills, definitely you will show me the buildings or a picture of John Kills. So if I ask you to show Manchi, so you will show me the building, you will show me a picture, right? So but can we really see a person? If I call Dilshan, so we can see a person. If somebody calls Shehani, so you can see myself, right? So I'm visible, right? I'm visible enough. So if we talk about a company, now as a human being, does a company visible enough? No. Just I can show a building, but where the company exists? Can we show the existence of the company? We can show director of a company, we can show shareholder of a company, we can show building of the company, or we can show property owned by the company. But where the company is? Where does the company exist? Company is a fiction, hypothetical person. Company is something hypothetical. It exists. So we can show all the property and the people company owns, but we can't show exactly what the company is, but it exists. So it's like a fiction. So we call company is a legal fiction. නීතිමය කල්පිතයක්, legal fiction, right? So we can't exactly show what the company is, even if you show the board of the company, right? So then that is the name board, but where the company is, right? So it is, company is a legal fiction. So company is something in existence. Company comes into existence after incorporation, after legally establish the company, then only it come to existence. So then, so company, we can't say something like, now for example, I will give you a practical reason, right, to show how company is not something exists. So imagine now a company, there is a company called uh, imagine your companies now, now who's the Dilshan working for now local group, no, no, whatever the limited, right, and the next one, he works for a NGO, right. So then imagine your organizations, right. uh, then imagine your company wants to uh, register your trademark. All the companies now, they have their logos, no, so you have to register your logo, right, you have to legally register the logo. And to register the logo, uh, you have to give authority to an attorney at law. You have to authorize attorney at law to register logo on behalf of your company, right. So then, to give the authority, there should be a person. Company has to give the authority to attorney at law to do it on behalf of the company. Now, my question is, how company is going to authorize? Now, Navaloka Limited, Navaloka Private Limited, right? So, Navaloka Private Limited want to register their Navaloka trademark, whatever the logo they do have. Now, to do that, in order to do that, attorney at law needs permission from the company. Now, how Navaloka Private Limited is going to give that authority? Can we go and ask from Navaloka Private Limited? Is there something in existence? No. But Navaloka at that particular time has board of directors, and they do have a secretary. So then company director, one of the director or and company secretary or two directors of the company would give that authority. To the attorney at law to perform that task, the registration of whatever the logo on behalf of the company. Now you can see there is a clear difference, right? Company is there in existence somewhere, but who actually run the company? Who actually run the company? Board of directors, officers to the company, board of directors, right? Board of directors. So now you can see company is a legal person. We have natural persons and also we have legal persons. So company is something created by law. Something, it is a legal entity. The word is legal entity. It is legal entity. Something created by law. Right? So legal entity established but can't think. Company can't think itself. So on behalf of the company, natural person help to do activities on behalf of the company, right? On behalf of the company, natural persons come and they help to operate the company, right? So the philosophy is the natural persons would definitely have to protect and promote best interest of the company for the betterment of the company, right? Now you all are working for the company, you get remuneration, so you have to do whatever you take, whatever decision you take need to be for the benefit of the company, right? If you do not make decisions for the benefit of the company, then you have to get the responsibility personally. That is why company directors have duties to perform. Duties. They should not gain secret profits. They should not be negligent. They have to attend meetings regularly, right? So that is why there is a huge bundle of duties for directors. Because they are not, the directors are not the owners of the company, even not the shareholders, right? They are the representatives of the company. They represent the company. So if you're representing someone, you always have to do whatever the most suitable thing for the person who you represent, right? So company is an artificial person. Company is an artificial person. Artificial mean a person created by law. A person created by law. Right. So now natural persons in the company. Company is there and there are people within the company. Are they same or different? Are they same or different? They are different. Company and those who work for the company are two different entities. Company is different from those who work in it, right? Those who work in it different from the company, right? So that separation is there. There is a separation. That is why we call company is a separate legal person. Separate mean company is separate from the people who work for the company. Now, Dilshan, even though Dilshan work for Navaloka Holdings privately, he can't say this is my you all are employees, you all are saying my company, but really the company is not something you earn. You and company are two different entities. You are just an employee of the company, right? So, and also company, the most important one is company has distinct personality, distinct, separate, distinct personality. Company is a distinct and legal entity and company is separate legal person. So distinct legal entity and separate legal person, both are same. Both are same. And companies have limited liability. Company's liability is limited. Company's liability is limited. Company's liability is limited means now company has assets. Company has own property. Company has vehicles. Company has building. Company has instruments, equipment, right? Company has equipments such as machinery, and it has buildings, and it has lands, uh, immovable property, right? Sometimes money also, capital. Company has a worth, right? So companies assets are different from those who manage the company. Company assets are different. Now, in case of company has to settle a liability. Imagine company borrowed a loan from the bank, and unfortunately company doesn't have money. Company's bank account doesn't have enough money to settle the bank loan. Because we can say the company bankrupted. Company doesn't have money to settle the loan. Board of directors responsible to settle the bank loan? Because they are board of directors, no? They are directors of the company. So should they settle the loan? Should they do they responsible to settle the loan?